Welcome back. What we're going to go through now is our software setup. It's going to be different based on the PSA integration or if email connector, if they don't want to have an integration with a PSA. All of the editing for the software is going to be under the software management tab. So you have integration settings, user interface, branding, button scripts, and then download and deploy. So we'll hit these in order. Our integration settings page, we have just a few general information type options. We'll just go through those one by one. Our ticketing system, you can choose which one you would like. We do have 10, I think maybe 11 right now. And with each of those, whenever you select it, it'll give you your integration guide, which is our documentation is right here. And there's basically two steps for every integration. There's creating an unregistered user, and then there is creating the API key and importing that. So, the first step is making sure that there is a catch-all user account, so that if the user, when they're submitting their ticket, puts in an email address that is not in the PSA, it still gets submitted. And then the other part of it is just making sure the integration set up. So that's the integration setup here. And then you can set your integration defaults. So what a just normal ticket as it comes in, what that needs to look like coming from help desk buttons. So you can set all of those accordingly. The max time to wait for scripts is based on the fact that maybe you have other scripts that are going to be running a long time. We're not exactly sure how long that's going to run before we want to submit the ticket information to the report. And so you will automatically, a user will go through and submit a ticket, and the ticket will be in your PSA, but the crux of that information, all of the information that's going to be in the report that you get with every single ticket, can be delayed to wait for other scripts that you may have added that are going to be taking a while. The other factor or the other function of this max time to wait line is that it gives a cooldown period in between button presses. So if you're concerned about users spamming and pressing the button over and over again, this max wait time is just a cooldown period that, you're going to have to wait, in this case, 2 minutes before you can press the button again. Here's where you can enable or disable that remote access tool. This is an opt-in feature. You don't have to worry about deactivating it. As soon as you log in, that's something that you can opt in later. We have the auto remove endpoints that fail to check in. So we've got a trim option if that's something that you're concerned about. We do have the capability of removing endpoints if they don't check in for 90 days. And then this is where you would connect a Google form to your Tier 2 forms for that Tier 2 assist process that we had talked about, where we have a new hire and we wanted to append that information to the report or the ticket as it came in. So you can go through and you can update all of these items here. You hit update, and then you can do an integration test, and it'll submit a ticket to your PSA to make sure that it's correct within the page. So that's how it goes. And the nice thing about this is you can change your ticketing system daily if you wanted to, weekly, and your end users wouldn't see a change in service at all. They would be able to go and use the help desk buttons the same way they always do, and you can just go back and forth to whatever ticketing system you want. As soon as you hit update, that is pushed dynamically, that's pushed live to those endpoints. Customizing the user interface. So as we've mentioned, every single bit of this is completely customizable. You can see we've got this light menu here where you can just get the high points of what's going on. We've got our instructions and the page title. You can see this is going to the executable of the notepad. You could also have that go to a URL if there was a web portal you wanted to use. Ticket details, you can change what you would like for those check boxes or those radio buttons to say. Out of the box, they approximate that ITIL priority matrix. Maybe you have some other method that you would like to have your users triage tickets. Maybe this is a web design request, or graphic design versus IT or network questions. But again, our goal is to not ask them those type of questions, but more to triage that for them so they don't have to know the answers or terminology. Here's our splash screen. Each of those items, you can customize them to be didactic, or it could be funny. And then our error page, here is the QR code. You can set up the redirect to go to a specific page if you want that to go to your portal so that they know to go check for their ticket there or whatnot. So there's a lot of other information that you can grab. Legal stuff, this is where we're saying that you can edit the consent checkbox text, as well as we currently have the data we collect URL going to our site, but you can make your own for your own protections elsewhere. And then the user portal link at the end there. And that is all of the fields that you can customize for the user interface. Again, you just hit update and those changes will get pushed live. You don't have to create a new build or anything for those to be demonstrated on the end user's accounts. Branding, like we said, you can white label this, upload a new icon file, upload a new logo file. This icon file, that's what is going to be the desktop icon, the icon in the top left-hand corner of the program itself. And then that current logo, this logo file is going to be a 125 pixels by 400 pixel banner type image that's going to be at the top of your report. It's also going to be at the top of, it's going to be the first thing that you see on the splash screen, and it's a few other places as well. So those are the two places that we have that you can change your icons. And again, and alternatively to the other two items that we just talked about, whenever you add your logo, you do have to create a new build, which we will hit on next. We're going to skip over button scripts. That'll be its own video. But for downloading and deploying your software, or creating a new build. So our software, you can choose which version, how feisty you're feeling, which one you want to use. So there's alpha, beta, and stable. Alpha is what we're using as an MSP. We dog food pretty heavily. So alpha is exactly what it sounds like. All of our newest features will be available there. So you've got that available there with the links. You can see what the documentation's saying. And so you can choose. I would like to use the stable build, and you would hit Rebuild MSI. And when you choose Rebuild MSI, I'll go ahead and just rebuild a new one. You can navigate away from this page. You don't have to be on it. But we have a couple deployment options. So you can download the MSI itself if you want to download that and just deploy it to individual devices. You can download it. We also have a URL, so copy MSI URL, and you can see, I'm just going to put it up here in this navigation, or in the navigation up here. So you can see it's a very, very unique URL here. So this, you can distribute that to people and say, hey, go to this link and it's going to download your MSI. So there's all those things. But normally the process, what we see is you build the MSI, you download it on a computer, you test it out, see if you like it, and then you can push it out using our custom-made PowerShell or batch file scripts. So let's just show you what that looks like real quick. So here we've got our PowerShell script file, and we've got a few of these flags that you can customize. You can say what you want your icon name to be, what you want your launch key to be. False is that you don't want to use a hotkey. If you want to use a hotkey, you would say true, and then launch key function F7. We've seen a lot of F4 and F9. So, and then you can say if you want it to reboot upon install, and then if you want it to be installed passively or quietly, which have, again, their different implications based on what's going on. And basically what this script says is, hey, this is the URL of our software. Look and see if the software is already installed. If it is, abort this process. If it's not, then please download and install this software. So once you've deployed the first time and you go in and you create a new update, and you would deploy this through your RMM or any GPOs or whatever. So once you've rebuilt your first run, you've rebuilt a new MSI, you can then go in, if you're happy with it, push that update, and it will get pushed to all of your endpoints. And this is a natural place for us to talk about device management, so I'm just going to scoot over there real quick as the last thing for this video. So our device management page is it's pretty lightweight. We've got a few things that you can customize. So let's just talk about those real quick. You can go through and you can sort through your devices based on certain rules. And what you can do with those things is we have a couple small actions that you can do. So you can select all of your endpoints and you can send them a toaster notification. Hello, your internet is slow. So very sorry. And you can see, oh, there's our toaster notification, just popped right back over here. So that is a feature that we've just added. And then you can also, in the same vein, you can remove your endpoints and uninstall the software from this device listing as well. So a few things that you can do to help manage your devices and your installations all together in one place.